trust that someone somewhere is in control. But what happens when something or someone joins the flight uninvited? Welcome to Flight 502, a routine domestic journey that would become one of the strangest unsolved mysteries in aviation history. No crash, no missing persons, and yet a presence on board that defied explanation. Strap in. What you're about to hear is not fiction. It happened. It was documented, and it was buried. But before we reach cruising altitude, let me ask you, if you boarded a flight and noticed someone who wasn't on the manifest, would you speak up? Flight 502 was scheduled to take off from Manila, Philippines, on a foggy December morning in 2014. A typical regional flight, 78 passengers, 6 crew, 1 uninvited guest. As the plane taxied, flight attendants did their count. But something didn't add up. One attendant swore she counted 79 passengers, not 78. She chalked it up to human error. After all, things get blurry in the early hours. But shortly after takeoff, a passenger seated in 17A pressed the call button. He claimed the man next to him, dressed in black, unblinking, refused to respond, wouldn't even look at him. And when the attendant arrived, there was no one there, only an empty seat and a lingering smell of something old, musty, like an attic sealed for decades. Curious, yet it only gets worse. Roughly an hour into the flight, strange anomalies began to ripple through the aircraft. Temperature drops, static over the intercom. The pilots reported that one of their systems, a non-essential but critical navigation monitor, shut off unexpectedly. That's when one of the attendants fainted mid-aisle. Passengers assumed a panic attack until she came to and whispered, "There's someone standing in the lavatory mirror." But no one is inside. Multiple passengers confirmed the same chilling detail. Whenever they looked into reflective surfaces, mirrors, seatbelt buckles, even phone screens, they saw a silhouette. Always the same figure, standing still, head slightly tilted. Pattern interrupt. Have you ever seen something in a mirror that shouldn't be there? Among the passengers was a young girl, maybe 10 years old, traveling with her mother. According to her, the man in black sat with her for the last half hour. He whispered things, asked her if she was afraid of heights. Then he disappeared. No one saw him come. No one saw him go. When questioned, she described him as pale, smelled like burnt matches, had no eyes, just shadows. Disturbed, the mother switched seats with her. The girl cried the rest of the flight.
One passenger later claimed that when the plane passed over the Mariana Trench, she saw the same man looking directly at her through the window from the outside. At 38,000 feet, the plane landed without incident in Cebu. But here's where the official narrative collapses. Security footage shows 78 passengers disembarking, but audio from the cockpit clearly captured the captain saying, "Cabin secure, 79 souls aboard." 79, not 78. Ground crew checked. No extra luggage, no stowaway, no ticket mismatch. But 2 passengers, seated in different rows, reported an old man nodding politely to them as he exited the plane. When they described him to security, their descriptions matched perfectly, down to the black tie and the missing eyes. The airline quietly conducted an internal investigation. That footage, redacted. The flight attendant who fainted, she resigned a week later. The little girl, she stopped speaking completely. Was it a glitch in the manifest? A mass hallucination? A prank? Some point to urban legends in Filipino folklore. The black passenger, a spirit said to wander between islands, appearing on ferries, trains, and now, flights. Others argue a psychological explanation, group hysteria, sleep-deprived brains crafting monsters. But how do you explain the footage inconsistencies, or the cockpit voice recording, which leaked years later capturing a second voice whispering, I've flown this route before. Some believe it was an omen. Days after Flight 502, another aircraft on the same route disappeared for 14 minutes from radar. When it reappeared, the pilot reported no memory of the missing time. Coincidence or continuity? Flight 502 continues to operate today. Same flight path, same airline. But here's the part no one wants to talk about. Every December, on one specific day, a passenger in 17A reports the same issue. The seat next to them is occupied, but the ticket is blank. No name, no ID, just a black coat and a faint smell of burnt matches. So next time you fly, take a look around. Check the seat beside you, because sometimes the ones who travel with us aren't really among the living. If you made it this far, you've already seen what most don't. Comment 17A if you're brave enough to sit there. Subscribe for more real-life horror stories every week. And remember, some flights never really land.